Howdy folks, Grok the DuckFarmer here, and let's talk Minecraft. Let's talk about being a good server player. Okay, now I've talked about this before, and I got links down in the description. You could go check those out if you haven't seen them before, especially the first one, which had a lot of audience participation, which was really fun, where I talk about the things to do and things not to do when playing on a multiplayer server. But then there comes the question of, well, how do I know if I'm building something that's really big and complicated and a problem? Well, there is a way to know, and it's called LagGoggles. And so that's the mod that I'm really going to focus on right now. But it's also the idea of, well, how do I build stuff? Like, okay, here is one option. You know, if you're on a skyblock sort of world, you can put any sort of matter, plant matter, leaves, potatoes, whatnot, into these barrels, and over time they will turn into dirt. And so I've got this thing here where I've got an infinite amount of carrots being shoved into here, and then they're being pulled out and put into a quantum storage unit. And yeah, this will work to get you lots of dirt if you're needing lots and lots of dirt. But is that the best way to do it? Well, here's another way. I've got two pulverizers, and the cobble from a cobble gen, now this is the tier 3, is going in, and then that's going into a quantum storage unit for lots and lots of storage. So that's another way, because the first one turns the cobble into gravel, and then gravel goes into dirt, and now I've got dirt. Yay! Well, there's another option. What if I take these top-tier sag mills with the top-tier octatic capacitors? Oh, who needs flint? Nobody needs flint. And it's sitting there just cranking through this as fast as it can, and it's going ahead and making dirt. Now this needs a tier 4 cobble gen because it goes fast enough through all the stuff that it really needs it. Okay, here, let's give you some flint over there. But we've got another option here too. We could use mechanism. We could sit there and do the elite crushing factory where it's like 7 machines all in once, and it is cranking through, making the gravel super fast, and then over here it's making the turning the gravel into dirt super fast. All of these work really well. Now these being smaller chunks than that there makes sense that that's a lighter footprint on the server. Well, let's also talk about other methods of making dirt, because, you know, it's modded Minecraft. There's lots of methods. This is using the mystical agriculture, and so I've got the actual additions farmer here. It's piping the results into this crafter. Hey, you're not supposed to get fertilizer essence in there, and it's crafting that into dirt, and then the fertilized essence is going over there. Now this is slightly better. It's got fertilized dirt, and so it's also using the harvester from Cyclic, and that's putting the stuff in here. And then this one is going bananas. You can see I've got so many tier 3 growth crystals here, both above and below. So you just see how fast that stuff is growing. Just look how fast that stuff is growing. And so the harvester does the entire area, and then the crafter goes bananas. Again, I should filter this stuff out. Did you see how fast all that dirt just piled into there? Really fast. So that is certainly ways of doing it. Now, which of all these options... Oh, and one other option. You can make a little Botania setup here where you can fill your band of mana with mana, and then you've got your Rod of the Lands, and you sit there and pump whatever consumables or burnables into this ring of endoflames. The mana goes into there, and boom. That right there is 9 stacks of charcoal. That's what that gave me. And that's pretty cool. So we've got a whole bunch of different methods here of making dirt, assuming that's the idea of making dirt. Then comes the question, well, what's the best? Trick question. Best is not exactly what you're looking for. Best, you're thinking, what's going to produce dirt for me the fastest? But that's not what you really want to do on a server. You want to have the smallest footprint on the server as possible, because if it's just you, then go nuts. Build incredibly huge things. It really doesn't matter. Just go bananas and have fun. But you're playing with other people, so you want to make sure that you're not causing system issues by taking up all that lag, or not taking up all the tick, which causes lag. So instead, what you want to do is play nice. So here's where you think. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 options for making dirt. Which do you think makes the dirt the fastest? And which do you think is the smallest footprint on this single player world? Well, we have no idea. We have no way of knowing unless you install LagGoggles. And the link to the mod is in the description down below. If you hit the insert key, you can profile the stuff that's loaded on your world. And if you scroll up and down, you can change the amount of seconds to profile. And I went to 300 seconds. That's 5 minutes to profile it. And let's see what the results are. There's a lot of red. Red means it's got a high tick going on. Orange and yellow is less, and green is very little. And if you hardly see anything, then it's no tick at all. Like this one conduit right here was 1 unit of whatever's, and over there you can see there's 2, and these others didn't have enough to even register as 1. So that gives you kind of an idea as the values going on. Now, this right here, this collection. Okay, step back. I'm going to completely ignore the quantum storage unit because they all have quantum storage units. I'm also going to ignore the power because that's assuming it comes from elsewhere, and I don't care. I'm just looking at the generating dirt method, and that's it. This collection here comes out to 295 units of lag. I have no idea what that is. That's microseconds or nanoseconds and something, but we'll call it units of lag. This over here, counting the CobbleGen and these 2 pulverizers, that is 21 units. The sag mills over here, that's 356 units. And this beastie over here with the double mechanism systems, 327. And then if we, hey, you're not supposed to be here, Enderman. This one here, I didn't even count because you can just look at this right now and see that's not a lot. This one here is a little bit more, but still not a lot. This one here is a whole bunch more because of the super amount of processing that it's doing. And then here's the surprising one. This right here is the Botania stuff. This spreader is 154 ticks of lag, or units of lag that I'm going to call it. And during that 5 minute I ran this, there was not a single piece of charcoal burned because I had already burned it in previous stuff. So just sitting there, that spreader is as much as half of these other setups. That I found very, very interesting. Now, let's take a look at the results here. This one, I went through and I deleted all of the things really quickly and then put the quantum storage units. So the last one over there was the last one in, but there's 4.3, 6.3 for a tiny fraction of the amount of server tick. That produced more. Now this is a huge amount of tick, and yeah, 27K, and this one 41K. That's a decent amount of stuff being processed. Now 6.3, that's getting similar to that over there. This guy over here, 6.6. Not really much of a difference between these two, but the fertilized earth does help. Okay, all of these growth crystals, what does it do? 164,000 dirt. That's a lot. And here's the very interesting thing. This stuff, to process it, produces tick. That cyclic sprinkler in there, that's 2. And occasionally some of these growth crystals are registering enough to be counted as 1. That tells me these are remarkably friendly on the server. So I see no reason why not to have lots and lots of these. It does mean this is going to crank up. You're going to be producing a lot more lag because of these machines, but that's okay. Now, one of the other things talking about a server, because once I was looking at some of this stuff and I said, ooh, this right here, the translocators, that's 32 units, and this single bit of EnderIO, 1. I thought that was backwards. I was really, really interested in that. So here we have some ways of pumping items as fast as possible. And I had different items here because different pipes do different things. But this is the mechanism fastest one, and that's 30 units. This is the item ducts, and I think that's as fast as I could get it going. It doesn't even register. Here is the transfer nodes from extra utilities. That's 39. That's more than that, which surprised me. And but it's using a lot of tick through there because it's got max upgrades as well as stack upgrade, and so it's really pumping the stuff through fast. But holy cow, that's a lot of tick. This guy right here, if we scroll around here, 2 for the EnderIO pipe, and it is set up with the max upgrade, so it's doing entire stacks. And this, just floored me. This is the translocator. You can see it's doing stacks worth, and it's pumping it through as fast as it could. That's 1,000. That's 1,100 units of lag going on there. Holy cow! So what does this tell me? This tells me that when I set up something, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of my translocators on the FTOG server. I'm not going to use them. I'm going to use these, or I'm going to use these. And I didn't even use the XNet ones, which is another one. I completely forgot about those. But I think those are going to be in the same boat, pretty much. But I can test that and find out. Now, here's the other thing that is definitely something to consider. Here is an early power gen setup. I've got lots of crucibles with the top tier melters underneath. I've got a top tier cobblestone generator that is piping in tons and tons of stuff in there. Holy cow, it's having a hard time keeping up. We also have lots and lots of these fluid ducts pumping into here, and we're half filled. This is producing lava like you won't believe. And it's been maybe an hour and a half, dinner and stuff like that, setting up stuff here. And here's the interesting thing. I've got here 9, if I mapped it right, 9 of these magmatic generators. They're all running with the upgrades in it, and it's making 1.7K RF is all it's producing. That's not a lot. For considering all this lag that you can see right here, all that processing, that's 107, that is 1.7K. I'll get my units right eventually. Why do this when you've got enough stuff to do this? Now, this is a single core, and it's 4 tall, and I've got resident ender, 1 bucket in the sides pouring around. This is generating for me almost 2K RF, so that's more than that there, but look at what the tick is here. The only tick I'm seeing is the fact that I'm using stinking translocators here. If I'd use some other stuff, and I've got chickens here to provide me the yellorium. But if it weren't for this thing would hardly tick at all. And if we come take a look, it's producing just a little bit more. Why not do this? As soon as you got yourself the ability to go with this sort of generator, this sort of reactor, trash all of this. You don't need any of the crucible making lava stuff because of all that tick. Do you see all that tick? Here, let's look up. This gives you kind of a heat map of the amount of tick. So that right there is the barrels doing dirt, and this right here is the lava. Holy cow, that is a lot. And that right there is the pipes, the test of that. So that is, you know, a crazy thing. But here's the other thing that's interesting. See this long cable going over here? That's this. That's this long string of cables going over to, you know, power a pulverizer. Because of course I've got to have a pulverizer way over here. And stinking translocator. This is taking, you know, because I've got a huge amount of diamond ore that I need to get processed into diamonds. And I've got so many I'm voiding them, but I've got to still process this. But you can see this max tier pulverizer is only 5 ticks, or 5 units of tick. That's pretty dang small. But here's the really, really dumb thing to do on a server. Why am I running this super long, stupid cable? Why? It does not make sense. There are so many different methods of running power that doesn't require a string of cables. RF tools with the power cell can do that, and XNet can do that. No, I lied. Flux Flux networks can run those, and the Flux has the ability, thanks to people pointing it out, of infinite amount of transfer. So you're not doing just a small amounts. You know, this is limited to 20K. The Flux network can do much more than that. On a server, don't run super long cables. Whether you're moving fluids, whether you're moving items, whether you're moving, you know, gases, liquids, cats. I don't care what you're moving in the long conduits. Don't do it. Ender chests, you know, stuff for moving power, use anything for using power. Fluids, you've got ender tanks. There's multiple ways of doing that. And also, talking about long conduits, Applied Energistics 2 don't have super long conduit runs of the cables. Don't. That all causes, similar to this, each of these areas, each of these chunks is loaded and running stuff for each one of those cables. Likewise, refined storage. Do not have super long cable runs in refined storage. 1, it loads the chunks, and 2, it costs you power, and 3, why? You have a really good setup of network transceivers and receivers in refined storage where you can hook up stuff remotely really easily, and then you don't have this long spaghetti strand of ugly looking pipes. Don't do the pipes. Alrighty, I think I'm gonna stop ranting now. Ooh, I like how the lights are shining through me. Alright, so it is possible to play on the server and be very, very nice and leave a small footprint of server business on the server. And the easiest way to figure that out is, 1, build small. You know, you don't have to build great galloping gobs of stuff. You can go small. You know, if you need lava, 1 crucible is gonna supply you plenty of lava. But once you don't need it anymore, get rid of it. All that ticking stuff there with the lava, if you already have that dinky little reactor, you just blew all that stuff away. Get rid of it. Get rid of your super long cables. Think smarter. And if you've got a question, you say, I wonder if this thing is super lag intensive. Spin up a single player world, build what you want in it, and then grab the LagGoggles mod, hit the insert key, run a profile, and see how it works. Build several different ideas. You know, I've got 8 different dirt making processes here. I would probably go with the double pulverizers. You know, as much as I really love the farms, I would use the farms for other stuff other than dirt. But the double pulverizer is going to produce for me a decent amount of dirt with a very, very tiny footprint on a server. That's what you're looking for. Be a good server player. The server will love you. The admins will love you. I'll love you. And you can love yourself. Okay, preaching over. Go do a good thing. Anyway, this has been Grok the Duck Farmer here, having too much fun with LagGoggles. And thanks for watching. Bye.